name is Trevor. My username is Finier218. This is my first ever stream, so it might be a little strange to start with. I will do my best to keep everyone entertained, not be too boring, not be too strange. Please, if you end up watching this and you see anything you think I could do better, things I should work on, things that you like, things you don't like, please let me know. I will do my best to adjust. I probably should have done all this before I turned it on. I will post my videos to YouTube after the stream. So if you can't watch live, you're more than welcome to check it out on YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what I can or what I couldn't do better, what you like, what you didn't like. Even maybe suggest games you want me to play going forward. Since this is my first stream, I kind of want to go over the objective of the streaming that I'll do. I'm not an avid gamer. Well, I wouldn't say that. I game since I was a kid. But I've grown up, had kids of my own, so I don't have as much time to play as I would like. So when I do, I play what I can. I have played through the Kingdom Hearts games plenty of times before, so I figured they were as good as place of any to start. I love the games, I love the story, and I figured it'd be kind of fun to watch. My plan is to just play through the games. I will talk about kind of what's going on in my life, what's maybe going on in some popular culture. I love sports, so we'll probably talk sports a little bit. It's going to be just fun. It's going to be relaxed. If people start watching, start commenting, I will definitely comment back. It'll work out better because I'll have someone to bounce talking points off to and can kind of chit-chat with and kind of see how it goes from there. So that being said, I'm going to start this by running through the main Kingdom Hearts games. That'd be Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. Of course, 1 and 2 will be the final mixed versions that I've got. 3 will be, of course, the edition I bought when it came out. And I will be playing Kingdom Hearts 1 on Proud Mode. The goal is to play each one on the hardest level, which would be Proud Mode for 1, Critical for 2 and 3. I will not be playing any of the offshoots, Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, or Dream Drop Distance, or the 0.2 Fragmentary Passage. They were alright games. Not a real big fan of the card battling system of Chain of Memories. Really didn't care much for Dream Drop Distance. I loved Birth by Sleep, but I think just for the consistency of it, I will play through the main stories, maybe recap events from the other ones as I pass them over. Here, I will kind of commentate what I do through the game, maybe give my little pointers, what I did through my few playthroughs, kind of give you an idea of my playing style, what I like, what I don't like. You play how you like. And if you have ideas, things you've done that work out better for you, hey, I'm all ears. So, to start the game, we jump into this lovely little stained glass picture of Snow White and her dwarfs. And essentially what you're doing is you're picking your starting stats. You get the shield, the sword, and the staff. You gotta pick one to wield as a weapon, one to get rid of. And this will kind of influence your starting stats when it comes to attack, defense, AP, and magic. Of course, it's kind of somewhat self-explanatory. If you pick the staff as your weapon, your magic and stuff will start higher. Pick your shield, your defense will start higher, and the sword with your attack. So if you want a stronger attack to start, but maybe a weaker defense, you can pick the sword, give up the shield. Picking up the sword, getting rid of the staff will give you strong attacks, but maybe weaker magic. Personally, when I play through, I always pick the same start. I always pick the shield and get rid of the sword. The reason being is it kind of gives you a more level play. Your attack and defense will be leveled out, and your magic and AP will start a little lower than if you had kept the staff, but I think it's a good way to start. Personally, I don't use a lot of magic when I play through on Kingdom Hearts. My main use of magic is for curing, and then later on in the game when you get in Kingdom Hearts 1, when you get the arrow spell, I use it for defense a lot. Kingdom Hearts 2, Reflect. Occasionally, I didn't use Reflect a whole lot. It just felt like it was more complicated to use Reflect than just blocking. So, after you make your choices, which are permanent, once you make them, there is no going back unless you want to start the whole process over again. And you end up here with Cinderella. The nice thing would be if I could just skip through all the tutorials. I've played this game so many times that it's getting to the point where I know what to do. I would just like to get rid of it. The other problem is, some people will say it's weird, I like to play inverted. It makes sense to me. You pull up on the stick, which would, if you kind of grab someone by the head, you pulled their head back, and you pulled down, you would look up. If you pushed it forward, it would go down. Inverted makes sense to me. But, unfortunately, what's one of the downsides is you do not get, you cannot open the option menu early enough to change your settings. Because that's what I would love to do early on. The other thing with these, I'm not sure who will be watching this and if you will be familiar with the Kingdom Hearts games. There are certain cutscenes that I like throughout the various games that I will probably just watch and commentate through just because I think they're cool and I don't mind rewatching them myself. There are some, especially here at the beginning with it just being a tutorial, I don't feel like watching them, and I feel like it's just a lot of time to sit there and just kind of chit-chat over the top of them. You know, it's just easier to skip through the scenes. I love that I get the option to do that. If I get to the point where a lot of people are watching and I get some comments and people say, hey, no, I like watching all the cutscenes. I want you to watch it. And I want to hear what you have to say about them. And we can talk about the scenes. Hey, I'll keep watching the cutscenes. But for right now, just to make it fun, or yes, make it a little quicker, I'm going to skip through the cutscenes that I can. Like I said, there are some that I love to watch just from the nostalgia of it. And those I'll definitely watch through. But for the most part, we'll skip through them. The one thing I do have to get used to with doing all this is my first time streaming. So I know the camera's sitting straight in front of me, and then if I look kind of at the game itself, it will give the illusion that I am looking at the camera. Or I could look right at the camera and you'll see that, oh, hey, look, somebody's looking at you. But then I get the tendency to look kind of sideways and look at the picture of myself in the corner there and see if I'm getting any views or comments, things like that. And so then it looks like I'm kind of looking off in the distance. Can't help it. I'm trying. So, like I said, I do like sports. I'm wearing the hat backwards right now, but my hair's a mess. That would be the good old Texas Rangers. I'm a huge Rangers fan. I love baseball. Texas didn't do too well this year, but I can't not root for the Texas team or the American League team, so go Astros, one game away from winning the World Series. I love watching football, college, NFL. Right now I'm more college. They're not doing too well for me, but those Longhorns, hook 'em horns. And of course, I do love me some soccer or football, however you want to call it. As you can see behind me, I got a couple of my lovely scarves hanging up. Got a bunch. Top one for my English team, Chelsea, who have signed one of my favorite American players, Christian Pulisic. And that would be the scarf right underneath, would be one of my many United States scarves that says USA on the other side and United We Stand. The bottom scarf, you probably don't know what it is. It says Come and Take It, which is a big Texas history thing. But on the other side, it is for FC Dallas. Heartbreaking loss in the playoffs this year. Broke my heart watching it, but they had a great season and that was a great game. If they were going to lose one, that was the one to lose and the way to do it. So, enough about me and my likes. Here we are, getting to meet some Final Fantasy characters. We got Tidus, Wakka, and Selphie from Final Fantasy X. So this part of the game, you go to each one individually and they will ask you a question. This one is what's most important to you. Now, the way you choose these will depend on how you level up throughout the game. If you pick the first option with each question, you will level up more quickly in the beginning from levels 1 through 50, but in the back half, 51 through 99, you'll level up a little bit slower. If you pick everything in the middle, you'll level up at more of a consistent pace throughout the entire game, 1 through 99. And if you pick the last option on all of them, you'll level up a little slower at the beginning between 1 through 50, but you'll level up quicker once you get from 50 to 59. Or 50 to 99, sorry. Usually when I play, I always pick the first options, level up quick, get some of those early skills early on in the game. That way, you know, because by the time you get to level 50, you're probably a good way through the game anyways, and you've got enough skills and stuff where it's manageable to play like that. I'm kind of debating on this playthrough of going with the middle options and leveling up at a consistent pace all the way through, but I'm going to be honest, it's hard to break away from the way I do things. So then you come up here to Wakka. Actually, I did change my mind. I'm going to go through with a consistent play. So even though I picked it like that, it'll tell me what I chose, and then it'll tell me when I'm going to set off. This will be able to tell you where you kind of landed in that experience chart. So I would start my adventure at midday. Midday, again, keep a steady pace and you'll come through fine. So this is the one where your experience will level up steadily through the game. If you start at dawn, that's the beginning of the game, you'll level up quick at the beginning, slow at the end. And if you start at I think it's dusk is how they put it, then that's leveling up slow at the beginning, but really quick at the end. And once you make the choice, it's set. So let's go ahead. Let's try it out. What can it hurt, right? Worst case, it'll just be a longer playthrough. More video content for me and more wonderful content for you guys. Alright. So now we're basically through all the picking stuff. At this point, it's just making it through the game in and of itself. So again, there's still a lot of tutorial stuff. It's just going to kind of, you know, tell you how to go through battle. Eventually it'll let me access the options menu, basic stuff like that through the end. I believe it's called the Dive of the Heart is essentially what this is. Now again, I am playing this on proud mode. My kind of style is, and it's not a good playthrough style for especially the harder difficulties. It's kind of a smash and dash. You just kind of swing and hit what you can and pretty much hope that you can hit them before they hit you and survive long enough to get to the next part. Not always good, especially later in the game when the enemies get tougher. Blocking, dodging, things like that come in handy. I still don't do that too much, especially at the beginning. So that being said, I do die a lot. It's just part of it. But I will do my best to not die too much. I will try to play somewhat conservative to, I guess, keep the flow of the game going better and also make it look like I halfway know what I'm doing. Probably don't really need to save. Oh, as you can see, I've played a few. I skipped a file in between just because. See here. This one was, I replayed through all of them before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out because I wanted to get through the complete story, video, and all just to be ready for Kingdom Hearts 3. I did it just a few days before it released. And Kingdom Hearts, again, with the offshoots I didn't do much. Chain of Memories, Dream Drop, Birth by Sleep, I just got through them. Played them on the hardest difficulty, but Birth by Sleep I played on hardest difficulty. Chain of Memories because I didn't really care. Dream Drop I didn't really care. Played on easy ones just to blow through them and get to through the stories. Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, I played at the hardest difficulty. Level 100, beat everyone. Kingdom Hearts 1 to beat all the secret bosses, all the tournaments, got all the Keyblades, all the Trinity marks, synthesized everything, 100%, got done in 50 hours. And then, I don't know why I saved these two separately, But essentially these playthroughs I played on beginner mode because the only 2 trophies I did not get while playing my original playthrough were beating the game in under, I believe it's 12 hours, it's a speed run, and then playing without changing your equipment, which means no accessories whatsoever throughout the game, and you use the Kingdom Key the whole time. I figured trying to do that on proud mode would be a little tough. I know people have done it, that I didn't feel like it, so I put it on beginner mode and I blew through it. As you can see, I beat it in roughly 10 hours. I believe, unless that's from after the game. Either way, yeah, that was probably right before the final boss, so about 10 hours. So for this, we'll put it on save. 2, I think I can remember that. I'm always afraid of overwriting my stuff, but I mean, if I overwrite it, I'll just play it again. And now I can go to the options menu. So, where is it? See, I like to play inverted. That's better. We get to go up this beautiful stained glass pathway. I always remember playing these games as a kid. They were my favorite. Probably because it was the first game I ever got for the original PlayStation 2. For Christmas, when the PlayStation 1 came out, my grandma got her 3 daughters who really didn't play video games, got them all the original PlayStation for Christmas. So naturally, I inherited the PlayStation. Amassed a nice collection of games. Played, you know, some Final Fantasy, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, some of my favorites. And so when the PS2 came out, naturally, that's what I leaned towards over like an Xbox because I had games. So you could get the PS2, you had games to play before you could afford to buy the new ones. And I remember going to Fry's Electronics and talking my parents into letting me buy Kingdom Hearts. I bought it and I loved it. Played it over and over and over again. I got a cheap Game Boy Advance when they came out just so I could play Chain of Memories. I had a DS to play 358-2. Again, something cheap, and that was the whole purpose of getting it. I got Kingdom Hearts 2 when it came out. Got a cheap PSP for the Birth by Sleep. I mean, whatever it took. Now, I did play some Union Cross. Not a super big fan of it. I mean, it was fun. When I played through, I didn't quite realize that there was a story, I guess, to it. Kind of just blew through it. And by that point, I didn't want to go back and do it. I kind of watched some videos to get a good gist of the story for how it kind of relates to kind of this, but also mainly Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, like I said, I love playing it. I've played through multiple times when I had it on the PS2. When it came out on PS3, kind of the little anthology thing, it had a few of the games on it. I got it, and then I bought it again on PS4 when they came out with the complete collection. I bought the one that had Fragmentary Passage and Dream Drop. I mean, I have them all. Of course, had to get the special edition Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Steelbook. One of the first in line to get it. Probably almost, if I'm being honest, probably almost shed a tear when I actually finally got to hold it in my hands after all those years of waiting. That being said, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed with the overall of Kingdom Hearts 3 at the end. I hate saying it. I know some people are kind of mixed. Some people say it was one of the greatest games ever. Some people say it sucked. Some right in the middle. I think from a story perspective, I was not a big fan of it. From a gameplay perspective, it was fun. I liked the form changes of the Keyblades. I liked, the graphics. I thought the story was lacking, but it is what it is. Well, I'll go more into that when I finally get to Kingdom Hearts 3 again. Right now, we're in Kingdom Hearts 1. And now we're finally in the actual bit of the game. So, we go here, and you talk to Kairi. She needs us to gather supplies for her boats. And here we go. We got logs, a cloth, a rope, and we gotta bring it all to her. So once you bring all the items to Kairi, that kind of ends the day on Destiny Island, and you move on to the next part. So there are a few things you can do before. first. And we'll get all this. I'm gonna get all the stuff, and then I'll show you all the other fun things. So here is one of the logs, sitting right there on the beach when you go. And then if you go up this little ramp, you can hop up here to the shed and onto this little platform. You can also go through this door if you would like. I think it's a slower route. There's a save point there if you feel the need to save from the last save point. And you can run all the way up the stairs, and this will land you right back onto that same platform. And if you run all the way down here, there's Riku chilling on a tree, Sora's best friend, and spoiler alert, soon to be partial enemy. It's a very interesting story. That's part of what I loved about Birth by Sleep, even though I'm not going to play through it. That's why I guess I'll kind of go on it. I love the story of Terra, Ventus, and Aqua. I think, again, referencing Kingdom Hearts 3, I think that was where one of the weak points is I don't think it showed enough of them. I think their story was super important, if not more important, a little more important than Sora, Riku, and Kairi. And I don't think it got as much screen time. I think they talked about it a little bit, and then they rushed to the end and just kind of threw it all in there, and it didn't end well. But Riku is almost a spitting image of Terra. Terra bequeaths him a Keyblade. I guess I've already kind of somewhat said it. Look, these games have been out for a while, and so if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you've played it. If you haven't played it, I'd be careful, because I will, of course, you'll see some things, but I will probably spoil parts of the other games in this, kind of referencing them here and there. So, we got the 2 logs. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot what else she said. I know she needs a cloth and a rope. So let's go get those 2 things. So to get the rope, you climb up this little handy-dandy ladder. And we go back here where we started talking to these 3 guys at the beginning of the game. And you run right over here to the rope. And you obtain it. You don't have to do anything, you just walk over it, and there it is. And finally, let's go get the cloth. So if you come here to this tree house, there's a nice little pathway. It leads to the side of the tree, up the ladder, up the side of the tree, and into this nifty little clubhouse with nothing in it, except for the cloth. And look, you're all set. I feel like there was one more thing she asked for, but I cannot remember for the life of me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and talk to Kairi and see what she has to say for herself. Kairi is Sora's love interest. Oh, and that was everything. She gives you a high potion for your health. So, she says, do you want to call it a day? If you call it a day, that's it. You move on. You can't come back. But if you say not yet, it gives you a chance to explore the island. Now, the only other thing for you really to do on this island is some fighting. Help level up your character before you move on to the game. Quick side note. If you're watching and you see that I have forgotten something or I missed something, please, please, please point it out. Like I said, I played these games a bunch. I feel like I have found everything the game has to offer. But again, I forget. So there are some things that I'll probably forget later on in the game. Trinity marks. More than likely just because of a time-consuming perspective, I probably won't on these streams play through and level up Sora too much, because I mean, I don't think anyone wants to sit here and just watch me bash Heartless continuously. To level up to make it high enough to fight some of the secret bosses or find all of the Trinity marks, things like that. Maybe in my spare time I will do that. I will level up Sora and then restream it later, showing those specific fights. But for now, this playthrough is I'm just going to play through it at a normal pace, level up as I level up, and beat it as I beat it. So that being said, there are 4 fights you can do on this island to level up your character. I will show you each, I'll play each one once so you can kind of get an idea of what it is you do, and then go from there. Now you can do these as many times as you want. I'll start with Tidus.
Hey, Sora, you feel lucky today?
Sora. Feeling lucky. I feel lucky because I've done this a few times. And it's pretty straightforward fight. He uses his stick, you have this wooden sword because you were, I guess, asleep the whole time so the keyblade doesn't exist. He whacks pretty hard. So you can kind of outrun him, wait till he attacks, and then strike back. Or if you time it just right, which I'm not very good at, you can actually hit his stick like that and you get tech points. Tech points are extra little experience points for doing technical stuff like that give you some extra experience. Which, when we get to Waka here in a little bit, I will kind of show you and explain a tip and strategy I usually use when I play through to really help later on in the game, but will not be doing this playthrough just because it would be time consuming. I plan on streaming for about an hour per broadcast, and when I do this, usually it takes 4 or 5 hours, maybe less, to get it done. So you're talking 4 or 5 streams of just me fighting Waka over and over and over again. Tidus gives you 2 experience points for beating him. You also get 2 tech points for each time you block his little stick attack. But again, that's it. That's all there is to it. You can fight him as much as you want. Every time you beat him, you get 2 experience points. If you can block, which is kind of hard until you get the block ability, you get 2 extra experience points, and you can do it as much as you want. It is pretty time consuming if you want to use him to level up. And then we have sitting on the docks, we have Selphie. Not Selfie like, hey, Selphie like with a PH. And she wants to duel. She has this like jump rope whip type thing. Same concept as before with Tidus. You can kind of dodge out of the way and then wait for your chance to attack, or you can try to block and you get a tech point for each time you can block the little whip thing. Selphie and Waka only garner you 1 experience point for beating them and 1 tech point for kind of hitting their little weapon back at them. Whereas Tidus gives you 2 for the beat and 2 for the tech point. And Riku, if I'm correct, gives you 2 and 2 as well. Riku is definitely probably the toughest of the 4, but it's to be expected because he is one of our main characters. And again, spoiler alert, he is also a Keyblade wielder like Sora. He just doesn't know it yet. So let's go mosey on over here to Riku and see what he's going on about. He says this one decides the championship. He keeps score as you play. And again, with Riku, you can kind of dodge his attack and go through, or you can try to block his strikes and hit him back. You gotta, as I get hit, you gotta watch out for the little somersault. After a few hits, he'll lean back like that in a little somersault thing and kick at you. Again, easy to block, but there's a lot of damage. And he got me. Let's try it again. Like I said, not the greatest. I kind of hack and slash at it. As you can tell, that is not a good method of playing. It did not do very well for me. But we're going to try to do better this time. See, 1 tech point for that, but then you got to be careful as you do it, because you don't have anything, you don't have a block yet, you don't have dodge roll, so it's a little harder of an attack to get out of the way from, so you gotta, with Riku, the reason why I don't like fighting Riku is, again, it's kind of a slower way to level up, because you gotta be a little bit more methodical in how you do it, because you have to watch for, 1, he's stronger, and 2, you gotta watch for his little somersault attack. The other ones, their attacks are a little, I mean, they're all about the same strength, but they're a little easier to dodge than Riku. And the benefits may be a little bit higher. Yep. Alright. You see, that's why we don't fight Riku. I feel kind of stupid for not beating him, but for sake of time purposes, we're going to move on. Now, here's a little tip for you. If you really want to level up, if you want to give yourself an edge playing through the rest of the game, you can fight Waka. He will level you up like crazy. The only thing is, like I said, it is time consuming. He gives you 1 experience points for each time you beat him, and 1 experience point each time you deflect his ball back at him. The regular ball. He will throw a supercharged ball like this. So this is the regular. You hit that back, you gain 1 experience point for each time you hit it back at him. Eventually he'll kind of jump in the air and he'll throw a kind of like this, a highlighted ball. Those are worth 2. So, even though he's only worth 1 point, you could sit there and hit him over and over and over again, beat him, repeat the process. Or, you could do what I do. You gain a little space on him, and then you just gotta time it. By having a good distance and timing it just right, you'll actually hit the ball over his head. If you hit the ball back at him, it'll stun him, and he'll take damage. And it will end the fight quicker. Now, if you keep missing him with it, the fight will go on longer. And so you can just sit here all day and hit this ball back over his head. Over and over again. And you're getting 1 experience point, 1 experience point. And then when he hits it up here, 2 experience points. And I haven't hit him once. So you can just sit here for hours on end, just whacking the ball. And you're gonna level up. And you could, I mean, realistically, you could level up at level 20, 30 before you leave Destiny Island. You could level up to whatever level you want. Now, of course, the higher level you get, the more experience points you need in order to maintain it, which means the longer you would have to fight and the more time you'd have to do this. Usually when I play through, I level up to about level 12. If you pick the method I picked with the shield and giving up the sword, level 12, 13 or so, you get the scan ability, which allows you to see how much health the enemy you're fighting has. I love that ability. It's just nice to know how much more I have to go. Oh, I forgot. If you hit Waka with the ball, he kind of gets all drunken master and starts wobbling all over the place. And he doesn't throw the ball very accurately. You can go up there and hit him. That's a great way to beat him, or you kind of just let him throw his couple of messed up ones and then wait till he starts throwing back again and just keep doing it. And you can just keep this up as long as you want. I will just do this probably until, I usually do it until my health gets real low, and then I'll actually try to beat him so I can win. Even if you lose this fight, you don't lose the experience you gain doing it. So it's not like you have to beat him, otherwise you gotta start it all over. Nah, whatever you gain from hitting the ball back is yours. The only thing you miss out on if you lost is that 1 extra experience point you get for beating him. The key is staying far. If you're too close when you hit the ball back, it's gonna hit it directly back at him and hit him square in the face, and then you're done. That's why you gotta wait. If he starts walking up to you, it's because you're too far away. You just gotta get close enough to get him to throw the ball at you again, kind of back up and hit it. I mean, look, I've been going at this for a couple minutes now, and I've already gained more experience off this one fight than I did fighting those other 3 combined. By a long shot. Like I said, I've done it to where I think the highest I've leveled up doing this was like level 20. Again, it took me essentially 2 or 3 days worth of my playtime just to get there. I feel like it's worth it, especially playing on Proud mode. You may add a couple, like I said, you may add 3 or 4 hours to your game time, and it's super repetitive and it's super boring. But when you play through the rest of the game, it's a lot easier because your health will be higher, your magic will be higher, your attack, defense. You'll have gained a few skills along the way, like I said, scan, block, dodge roll. You'll have gained all of this to start with. Again, for this, as much as I would love to do that, I don't really have the time to do all that. And I could sit here for the next 20 minutes doing this and just finding things to say, or dancing around, waiting for it to be over, and then during my off time, do it, level up real high, and then continue the stream and the continuation of the game. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look for a little bit of a challenge. We're going to do things differently. When I do play through, I like to fight. I don't run away from the Heartless. Even if I'm just going from point A to point B for some little odd reason, I'm going to fight the Heartless. See, like, defense up. I've leveled up twice in this one fight alone. what I should have done, well, this wouldn't matter since I leveled up, but you could look and see how much I've done that before, where when I get to the higher levels, it may say you need 300 experience to level up. I go, and then when I finally kind of lose or have to beat him because my health is too low, I needed 300 to start, and now I only need like 50. So I got 250 experience points from fighting him. Again, it's a time-consuming thing. My health is low now. I'll probably go ahead and start laying into him. So if you get close enough, you'll hit him with his own little ball. You can also run up to him when he's not throwing and get a good little combo in.
I win!
But he beat me. Darn. But look, I'm already level 5. You look at my stats, 52. I could easily level up one more level, maybe even 2 in one more fight alone. Oops. Speaking of sports, I have my ESPN app on, volume up. So it's gonna da-da-da-da-da-da, but I've turned it off because that's not very professional, is it? And then you got your abilities. If you really want a challenge, this costs you absolutely 0 AP. It's the 0 experience ability. You equip that thing and you can beat all the Heartless you want, fight as much as you want, you won't gain a lick of experience. It's for those who really want a challenge because you have to beat the whole game on level 1. I mean, no abilities outside of what you'll learn from just general progression through the game, no increases in strength, health, magic, anything except for accessories that you choose to equip. But I'm not in for that kind of a challenge. You will hear, I'm trying to keep this stream clean. If I play like that, you will hear a lot of cursing because I will get very frustrated. And when I get frustrated with a game, I let people know. I have been told my whole life that, hey, I'm going to take that away from you. I was told by my mom, my dad, and now my wife. So, we're not going to do that for your sake and mine. So, that's basically your first day on Destiny Island. You collect all this stuff for Kairi, get your potion, and then you can fight these people to your heart's content. If you go to your item screen, anything you were given, like the stuff that Kairi gave me, you can either go here and click the little blank thing and hit exchange, and it'll ask you where you want to get it from. Or what I usually do is go to stock, you pick your potion, you exchange it, and where you want to put it. You could use it from the menu. Early on in the game, it's important to have items because, especially playing on proud mode, your defense will be down. I believe what it is, when you play on proud mode, the enemies do twice as much damage and they deal twice as much and you deal twice as less. And your health is at half of what it would be playing normally. So early on in the game, potions are the only way of healing yourself. Later on, you will learn the cure ability, which I love the cure ability later on in Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, where you could just cure and your magic would just be fully depleted, but you just waited a little bit, it would charge up. And depending on your abilities, that would happen very quick. When you're done doing all the fighting, you just say, yeah, let's go home. And it will lead you to some cutscenes. This is essentially them talking about what's going to happen later in their life, how they want to get off the island, I don't want to be here anymore. Kind of basic stuff. If I lived on an island, you would never get me to leave, I tell you that right now. And then we get here. This is Disney's castle. This is Mickey's homeworld, King Mickey. But he is missing. And we have Donald and Goofy, his 2 loyal companions. They figure out that he's gone, and it is them who decides they need to go find King Mickey and the Keyblade wielder that he speaks of in his note. I believe there's a cutscene where we talk about his note, but I had to skip it through. So, will we meet Donald and Goofy later in the game? I'm pretty sure we will. They become a very integral part to your team. Here we are. This is the next day. As you can see, Selphie's moved a little bit. She's now standing. You got Waka kind of hanging out up there, and Titus is up kind of where Riku was.
Hey Sora, have you heard about the legend?
You can talk to them, and they kind of talk. You can fight again. If you want, it's the same exact fight. The only fight that you lose, or not lose, but you can no longer play, is the Riku fight. because there is something new you get to do with Riku. So, there's really not much to do in this area to start unless you want to fight. What you gotta do is you go here to this door that Kairi was standing in originally, called the Cove. And this will take you to the next part of Destiny Island. There's our buddy Riku right there. We will talk to him shortly. He actually offers us a race, the prize of which we'll find out later. But essentially the path, you run these little blocks, that thing breaks, and what you're trying to do is get all the way across the island to, where is the little star? It's hidden way up there. There it is. That little yellow star. You're trying to be the first one to touch it and run back. There's a few paths to do it, kind of the way I did it, where I ran down this side here, you run up a little wall and you jump, jump, jump. Or there's a few different choices. Depends on how much you've practiced, how well you are, which one you can do. There's also the option of trying to jump from here. Ooh, you cannot jump on that tree. So actually you can't do that. You can't jump up there. So the other option is, other than jumping down and running around, is you can jump up here. It takes a few seconds to climb up. Sometimes this thing is hard to grab, but then you land here and you have to press circle to jump off. And then you can jump from treetop to treetop and touch the little thing. That way usually takes a little bit longer. So unless you've practiced and are pretty good at it, you will more than likely fall and lose the race. Which isn't the end of the world, but you don't get as nice of a prize. After you've touched it, you can kind of run back along the trees is the quickest route until you end up back on top here, and then you shoot across. We'll kind of go back over all that when I get to the part with Riku. So, for now, we have to go talk to Kairi, because she is needy. Now we need food. We've built the raft, but we need something to eat while we're gone. So she's asked if we've seen Riku. Oh, I guess we have to go talk to Riku first. See, that's how long it's been since I played. I kind of forgot the list. I thought you went and talked to her first, and she tells you to find some mushrooms, some clean drinking water, some coconuts, things of that nature. But let's go talk to Riku first. Hey, buddy. So the raft needs a name. He wants to name it High Wind. No idea why. And then ask what you would call it. It defaults with the name Excalibur. Now you can choose to use Excalibur, or you can delete all of that. And for some reason I am blanking out on it. Oh, there we go, circle. You can delete all of that, and you can name it whatever you want. So just for the fun of it, I've named it multiple things. I've used my name, I've used Phoenix, I've used all sorts of things. But today, for the fun of it, we're gonna name it my username. We're gonna name our raft the Fenrir 218. There it is. It's a weird name for a raft, but it's my name. It's what I choose. It's my raft. Alright, so now we're gonna race. So, take any route you want, they kind of go through it, and you're trying to get from that spot, touch the tree, little star tree, and come back. I'll show you the route I take because I think it's quicker.
I'm captain.
And Riku ups the ante.
Huh?
One of the cutscenes that we skipped, pause real quick. One of the cutscenes I skipped explains the Paopu fruit. It's a star-shaped fruit that if you whoever you share it with, your destinies will be intertwined forever. So both Riku and Sora, who like Kairi, want to share a Paopu fruit with her. So Riku ups it by saying, look, if I win, I get to share the fruit with her. If you win, you get to do it. Sora's a little shaken by this, but I think we have a good chance of beating Riku. Again, if you don't beat him, it's not the end of the world. All it does is he names the raft High Wind. The Paopu fruit thing kind of goes away, and you don't get a reward. You get like a high potion and a pretty stone. And you're thinking, oh, a pretty stone. I'm sure that's important later in the game. Guess what? It is not. All the pretty stone does is it's something that later on you can sell at a shop for some money. Oh, he made me fall. So because of that, he will get there a lot quicker than I will. I will not make it in time. He will get to name the raft Highwind. He's even walking because he's a jerk. It's a pretty tough race. You have to hit it perfect, otherwise you don't get it. So they named the raft Highwind. He talks about how he jokes about the Paopu fruit thing. Oh, I wasn't serious. See, it's just a joke. So you could race again, and like I said, you win the pretty stone, which it doesn't serve any purpose. You sell it for a little money at one of the shops when you finally make it to Traverse Town. You'll earn enough money through the game to buy whatever it is that you're going to need, or you'll find it. You're more than welcome to race to your heart's content, but I'm not going to re-race it. So, now we can talk to Kairi about the provisions we need. So we needed a seagull egg. Sounds yummy. 3 mushrooms. Not a big fan of mushrooms myself, but alright. 2 coconuts, 3 fish, and some drinking water. I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem like enough. If you look out, there is nothing as far as the eye can see. And they think for their little escape trip, they need a fish for each of them, a mushroom for each of them, a couple coconuts to share, and a seagull egg to share. I don't know how they plan on cooking the seagull egg, but that's on them. So let us pick our items. First, let's get a mushroom. First mushroom is right behind this stone. All you gotta do is push up against it, move that rock out of the way, and ta-da! Now there's a couple spots you can get the fish. Anywhere here in the water. There's some fish usually on this side, but then there are also fish on the other side of the island with Titus, Waka, and Selfie and all that. That's usually where I go to get them. There's also a couple places to get the coconut, and only one place to get the seagull egg. Since most of the stuff is on the other side of the island, I usually get it all there, so that's where we'll go. You can get the coconuts from these trees. You just kind of whack them until the coconuts drop from the trees. This is kind of a quick in-between. You can go through the little thing here, and look at that. Serves no purpose right now, so we're not going to do it. Wow, we're going to climb the trees. So, we are going to keep running this way. And hop up here, and we get this nice little thing. A little box with a star on it, or Paopu fruit. You pick it up, if you want a little something extra. Then we can carry it all the way over here. And when you get kind of close, you throw it right up against the wall. If you jump on it and then jump up, you'll grab the ledge, and looky there, there's a little chest with a protect chain. It's your first piece of equipment. So, if you want, which is what I'll do, you go here to your equipment, and you pick your protect chain, and it'll show you what it does. So my current stats are viewed on the left. What the item itself will do appears on the right. So my defense will go from 8 to 9. You will get way better equipment later on in the game, more equipment slots, but since that's the only thing we have, might as well go ahead and equip it. Can't hurt. Mushroom number 2. As soon as you do that, you turn and you look to your left a little bit. There is the next mushroom. Like I said, you can get a few of the other things here. You can get the fish, you can get the coconuts from those trees. You can also get the clean drinking water. It's not just normal water. The waterfall right here is one spot that you can get the clean drinking water, or there is another spot on the other side of the island. That's the one I'm going to go to. Not Goku, Kamehameha, but go to. So, let's grab some fish since we're here. So if you hop in the water and you kind of look, you can kind of see these little specks swimming. All you gotta do is run up to one and you obtain that fish. You need a total of 3 little fish. There's the last little guy. He's swimming around over there. Like I said, there are fish on the other side by the raft. I've always found it quicker and easier just to grab those that are right there. And then let's go grab the drinking water. Again, it comes from like the waterfall. There's that little waterfall spot on the other side, but then there's this big waterfall here in this whole pond. Top of the pond, go to the waterfall, and you get your drinking water. And then we are going to go get the coconuts first. We'll get the coconuts, the seagull egg, and then the last mushroom. I always get this one mushroom, the third mushroom last, because there is a cutscene, kind of a continuation of the story. So to get the coconuts, you just kind of keep hitting these trees until one of these yellow coconut, not the brown, the yellow. And you walk up and you get a coconut. And then you just keep whacking the trees until you get all your coconuts. Now the problem with doing these trees is, one, you could fall, but also the coconuts fall in the water because they're so close to the edge depending on what side you get it on. So because of that, we're going to go to trees number 2. These 2 little trees up here. Again, you only need 2 coconuts. Either that means someone doesn't like coconut and isn't getting one, or they figure they can share somehow. Split 2 evenly. Excuse me. If you whack it a lot and it doesn't fall, just go to another tree. Now this seagull egg can be tricky if you don't time it just right. I think I had the hard time with it the first couple times I played through the game. Now I've kind of got to a point where it's a little easier, maybe because games have gotten harder now. So it's like, oh, this is nothing compared to when you first played. You're like, oh my god, I'm never going to get that egg. But if you look right up there to the left, there is a little egg on top of the tree. You can't whack it and hit it down. What you have to do is you climb this little guy. You climb this scrawny little tree, kind of angle your back, and then when you jump, you'll land on top of the tree. And there is your egg. So now we have acquired everything that the game has to offer so far. The final thing is the last mushroom. It can be a pain to find if you don't know where you're looking. I'm pretty sure the first time I played through this, I looked everywhere. But that little guy is hidden here in this little hidey hole that they called the secret place. Why is it so secret? We have no idea. But as you enter, you walk through this little windy cave, you'll come to an opening with a door. And if you look right there on the right, there's our mushroom. But you get the mushroom, and as soon as you do, a cutscene begins. Somewhat of an important cutscene. I like the end cutscene better because it finishes the story, but it shows a flashback. We'll watch this one because it's fun. Of Sora and Kairi when they were a little bit younger, making these cave drawings of themselves to go along with the multiple cave drawings. Now, all these years later, our grown Sora carves more into it. And what he carves is him sharing a Papu fruit with Kairi. Now, later on, this scene will conclude in a very heartfelt way.
Well, who's there?
But for now, there is a mysterious figure. Who could this be? This we later find out is Ansem, or really the Heartless of Xehanort. It's a very confusing story if you don't understand. There's Heartless in this game. In the next game, we will discover Nobodies. And in Birth by Sleep, you get the Unversed.
Whoever you are, stop freaking me out.
All characters
like
of evil.
Huh?
But in this version, it is
Where did you
Ansem,
come
which
from?
we later find out is actually not a person, but a Heartless.
What lies beyond
And he is trying to open what is called Kingdom Hearts,
So you're
the
from
heart
another
of all
world.
worlds. This door specifically
There
is
is
the
so
heart
very
of
much to
Destiny Island and Sora's
understand so
homeworld.
little.
So,
Oh yeah?
we're going to skip through that. He kind of confronts him. And once it's over, it's over. You can examine the door, nothing here. That door will become important later as we finish our quest of Destiny Island. Now that we've gotten all of our fun stuff, we can leave the secret place and develop more into the game itself. Like I said, we'll get to see Ansem more later. We'll skip a little bit of the story when it comes to like Dream Drop and Birth by Sleep and Chain of Memories, which will explain a little bit more of kind of who he is. But you get enough through the main stories to realize There is a character we'll meet later in Kingdom Hearts 2 called Ansem the Wise. He is Ansem. And you have Xehanort, who kind of takes over his name. He splits himself into two. You get his Nobody, who becomes Xemnas, and his Heartless, which is Ansem. And Xemnas will be our antagonist of Kingdom Hearts 2, and Ansem is our antagonist in Kingdom Hearts 1. Now the next step is you're all done on Destiny Islands. If you want to play around a little bit more, and like I said, you can fight these three guys again. You can go race Riku a whole bunch. All it is, again, you can gain some items from Riku that you can end up selling. Maybe start off the game with a little extra money to buy some potions and some accessories and things like that. You can fight these guys a whole bunch to level your character up, make a little extra experience before you leave the world. But once you go back to Kairi and tell her that, hey, I'm ready to go, that is really the end of Destiny Islands. There's more you'll do. We'll fight some Heartless. We'll regain our Keyblade. But this is really your last chance to save and gain any extra experience before you continue on with the game. Since we're kind of getting here to the end, my plan is to stream 3 days a week. I'm going to be trying, the goal is to be scheduled Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4:30 Central to 5:30 Central. So that would be 5:30 to 6:30 on the East, and 2:30 to 3:30 on the West. I'll just stream it, like I said, 3 days a week for about an hour. Maybe sometimes I'll go over. I'll try not to go under the time. It doesn't really matter today. No one really is watching. I've kind of been looking at the ticker. Not a single view, not a single comment. But hey, it's my first stream. I'm playing an old game. I don't know what I expected. I will work on broadcasting it and trying to get a somewhat following. And hopefully it'll be something some people can watch, enjoy, and relax too. Like I said, if you don't have time to watch it now, it'll be on YouTube under the same name, Fenir 218. That is FENIR 218. Since I've only got a couple minutes left before I hit that hour mark, and we're about to get to a point with a lot of cutscenes and not a lot of places to save, I'm going to go ahead and just save the game here in the shack, kind of wrap it up, call it a day, and we'll pick up from this same spot on Wednesday. When I pick up on Wednesday, we'll finish off the last bit of Destiny Islands and continue on to our first world, Traverse Town. If you enjoyed this stream, whether you, I guess, didn't watch it live, but if you watched it on YouTube, or if you later come watch it live, if you enjoy, please let your friends know. Like I said, this will kind of be the stream every time. I'll just play games that I enjoy to play. I'm open to suggestions. If I get a good couple suggestions of the games, I'll go out and get them, play them for the first time with you guys, let everybody kind of watch, feedback. And you can always, if you don't have time to watch it live, please go to YouTube, watch the replay. I'm not very big on social media, not that I'm against it, I just never really had too much of a need for it. I have Facebook. I look at my Facebook kind of to kill time, to keep up with friends. I have a Twitter that I don't use a lot as of now, and I just recently got on Instagram, more because of the streaming. So, if I develop some sort of following, I will regularly post on Instagram and Twitter. My little username, you can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at Fenir218. That's at FENIR 218. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. When I start getting a following, if that happens, and I hope it does, I will post regularly on both of those accounts, kind of keeping up to date with my day, as well as anytime I plan on going live with streaming, whether that's my normal schedule stream or something extra special that I just, hey, I got some free time, I want to stream something. I'll pop it on there and let everyone know. I hope you enjoyed this little adventure into an old classic game, a favorite of mine. I know not much happened. Again, we were at the first part of the game, but leveled up, level 1 to 5. helped save a little bit. Got some stuff. We'll take to Kyrie later. And yeah, I mean, I really hope, whether you watch this on YouTube or you're watching it live, I hope you enjoy. I hope you come back and watch more. Again, I'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully a little bit excited that the Astros have won the World Series tomorrow. But if not, I'll stream Wednesday. A little nervous, and then we will go into that game that night. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, a great evening, great day tomorrow. And please come back and watch. Until next time, my name again is Trevor. My username is Finier218. I hope you enjoyed this stream or video, and I hope to see you again some other time. Peace out.